News when you want it with Bloomberg News Now. I'm Nathan Hager.
And I'm Karen Moscow.
Well, Karen, futures may be trimming some of their losses this morning, but if those indicators are an indication, the S&P 500 is on track for its fourth straight day of losses. That would be the broader index's longest losing streak since August. And in Asia, the Nikkei 225 stock average closed down 3.2% overnight. Paul Dobson is a Bloomberg Markets executive editor.
We sort of know a few of the risks that are hanging over markets at the moment. Those about the valuation or the overvaluation potentially of the technology sector, and particularly the AI companies, which have had such a strong performance this year, and their very extensive investment plans and whether there's appetite to fund that. That's one thing that's worrying people at the moment. On top of that, there's also what the Federal Reserve policy is going to look like. They seem to have been giving us the signal they may not cut interest rates in December, which the market had been hoping for and expecting.
Bloomberg's Paul Dobson says the S&P 500 is now about 3% below its October peak.
Well, even harder hit than equities, Nathan, has been Bitcoin. It's wiped out all of its gains this year, and earlier this morning it fell below 90,000. Mike McGlone covers cryptocurrencies for Bloomberg Intelligence.
So I'll give you a good indication. I think it's going to go lower. The Bloomberg Galaxy Crypto Index is down 10% on the year. Now, about a third of that's Bitcoin. It's the rest of the space, I think, is finally we're realizing it's unlimited supply, massive hubris, and just speculative excesses look like they're just getting purged.
And that's Bloomberg Intelligence senior commodities strategist Mike McGlone. Looking at Bitcoin right now, it is down 0.5% at $91,400.
And on top of the worries for investors, Karen, what we get from Nvidia earnings tomorrow. Bloomberg's Charlie Pellet continues our global markets team coverage.
Nvidia's report will be closely watched as investors are uneasy over high AI valuations. Cameron Dawson is Chief Investment Officer at New Edge Wealth.
Nvidia has shown a very consistent ability to jump over that high bar. Earnings are expected to grow 60% this quarter, and this is the third quarter 2026 earnings for them on a fiscal basis. So Nvidia is very much living in the future.
The chipmaker is widely expected to deliver another earnings beat in New York. Charlie Pellet, Bloomberg Radio.
All right, Charlie, thank you. As we await those Nvidia earnings tomorrow, we just got the latest quarterly report from Home Depot. They're crossing the Bloomberg. The home improvement retailer is cutting its full-year earnings guidance, warning that some unsteady consumers are hitting the pause button on big-ticket home purchases. The company's bleak forecast provides another warning about the strength of U.S. consumers in the absence of official economic data during the U.S. government shutdown. And shares of Home Depot, they are down about 2% in early trading. Well, on Capitol Hill, Nathan, the focus is about to turn to the Jeffrey Epstein files. The House is set to vote today on a bill that would force the Justice Department to release its documents on the late sex offender. Speaker Mike Johnson had resisted bringing the bill to the House floor for months, but a discharge petition forced his hand, and now President Trump says House Republicans should vote for it. Democratic Congressman Ro Khanna is one of the bill's sponsors, and he says today's vote could be overwhelming.
We may get to a unanimous vote. Look, this is the most horrific, disgusting scandal in American history. You had Epstein with basically a rape island, 1,000-plus victims, and rich and powerful men who raped underage girls or covered it up and haven't had accountability.
Democrat Ro Khanna spoke to ABC News. Meantime, the Epstein records that have been released are forcing a reckoning. Former Treasury Secretary Larry Summers says he's stepping back from his public commitments after emails showed he'd been in correspondence with Epstein. Summers is a paid Bloomberg TV contributor and a professor at Harvard University. He says he'll continue to teach, but will step away from public duties to repair relationships with the people closest to him.
At the White House, Karen, President Trump is getting ready for a visit with Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. The president says he is ready to offer Saudi Arabia something it's wanted for years, F-35 fighter jets.
They've been a great ally. They've got to like us very much. Look at the Iran situation, what we did.
President Trump spoke from the Oval Office. Former Vice President Mike Pence says the F-35 is America's most advanced fighter jet, and he notes Saudi Arabia has a close relationship with China.
I have concerns about the sale of F-35s to Saudi Arabia or any nation that could not assure the United States that technology and the great advancements that we made with the F-35 don't fall into the hands of nations that are hostile to our interests.
Former Vice President Mike Pence tells Bloomberg he hopes today's visit with the Crown Prince will bring Saudi Arabia closer to normalizing ties with Israel under the Abraham Accords.
And that's news when you want it with Bloomberg News Now. I'm Karen Moscow.
I'm Nathan Hager, and this is Bloomberg.